Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night, and let's get started. So in today's video we are going to talk about XRP and Dow Jones. So it seems there is still a little bit of room for Dow Jones to go down. It seems it is not over, and then we are going to jump into XRP. So the only two things that we have clear here right now is two sets of pivots and what appears to be so far a falling wedge. After the break, we talked about this back in the day, you guys know better. So this one is very sharp. So my best guess here is that we are very close to the end here. Okay. Outcome. Let me take a look if it ends with a higher low. So far there is high probabilities that we still end up with a higher low, which it's what we want. Going flat can be bad, but again, it is not the charts or the pivots or our analysis that move the markets. The markets will move based on fundamentals and factors. And right now there is a lot going on, as you guys know. And yeah, so one way or the other, we are very close. And my opinion is still the same. Dow Jones, in my opinion, it is going to break up for later continuation. Okay. So, also very important. Let me take a look here. Just a second, folks. The calendar. So 9/17. Take a look. Okay, so this is when we are going to see the opening after tomorrow. Yes. And so my best guess right now, so this is connected to XRP, as you guys know, the whole market, the whole crypto market. And one of the main reasons, again, it's because everything moves around the US economy. This is a fact, not opinion. And secondly, the crypto market, it's not moving on its own since, let's say, 2020, 2019. Yeah, so it's in the crypto market, as we know, it's a risk market, right? So risk assets always take the, let's say, the punch first. Okay. So all this being said, now let's jump into XRP. So we don't have a lot of changes, but we have something important to talk about. As we can see here on bigger time frames, we have this low, higher low, and another higher low. So far, it's a great sign. It's looking good. There is no news, in my opinion. So when we jump into the 3 days, 1 day, or 4 hours, things start to get more and more interesting. That's what we have to talk about right now. First thing, events. We have two major events that are about to unfold. The first one is 7. I don't know what time frame it is going to be, the meeting on the White House about crypto in the White House. So March 7, tomorrow, right? The first thing that we have to take a look. The second thing is the Fed, the FOMC meeting, which ends on March 18, okay? So now, all this being said, let's take a look on what people are saying about XRP. Again, we have two different things right now. The first is what the market want people to see. Okay, so for example, Right now, people are calling for a head and shoulders because they see a head and shoulders, which is completely natural. So what is the step by step? There is a head and shoulders. That's what they are saying, not me. There's a head and shoulders. Then we have a target. I don't know how much they are talking about. It's probably going to be, if it was, probably 1 in 30, 1 in 40, 45, whatever. So you spot a bearish structure, then you make the bearish call, and that's it. That's what they said. And again, played by the book, step by step. But how many times we seen the opposite going on? When we have something bearish that breaks bullish and something bullish that breaks bearish. So this is happening for a long time and multiple times. For example, even on Bitcoin, not long ago we had two head and shoulders, one after the other, and both broke bullish. So it's crazy. That's what we call the bull, bear, bull, right? So assumptions. When they say there is a head and shoulders, they are assuming it's a top reversal because there's no other way for you to call a head and shoulders as a bullish continuation structure. It doesn't make any sense, right? So we have this problem. Then the other problem is we are in the early stages of a bull break, which means we are at the very door, okay? And it already happened back in the day. So let's take a look at it. We want the weekly. Okay, so back in the day, XRP made a brief stop on the same range of the previous all-time high. What do we have right now? We have a brief stop on the same range of the previous all-time high. So there is a thing in the markets that things doesn't happen twice, just like it happened before in a row, you know, like a mirror. It doesn't happen. And I'm quite surprised to see that with XRP, it's happening. And if you pick a lot of other assets, you will see they don't behave in the exactly same way. Okay, so once again, XRP behaving like the jack of all trades. Can be this or can be that. Can be something else or can be something totally different. Okay, but we have some facts here that we have to acknowledge and remember. What else we have that we can take a look here? So I shared this not long ago on X. A 64% correction on the first leg. You guys remember we talked about this. And by the way, this is totally crazy, folks. People spend a lot of time talking about a bullish trend or a bull break, and also Elliot waves. And when we have it, they stop being bullish, start to be bearish. All the waves that zigzag in their stuff, they just stop. From a sudden, everything that was bullish starts to be bearish. Again, in the early stages of a bull break. Does it make sense? Of course not. But if we play the contrarian with them, we can bet or making trades against them. And it is going to be a complete success. So, 64% correction. The size of this one, it's 48, if I'm not wrong. 48%. Looking good? Yes, it is looking good. So let's talk about early stages. So people like to use the 2 for Elliot, but in reality, when you really know how to use and read the Elliot waves, you don't need any 2, okay? You don't have to make any draws because it's what your eye can see and understand, not what the 2 are going to tell you and show you for you to make to understand what is going on, okay? So let's go. 0, 1 and 2. Again, early stages of a bull break. 3, the most profitable wave among all the others. Then 4, the correction. And 5, destination and the very end. So again, right now, if we take a look on XRP, right now, at this moment that I'm recording, what do we have? We have 0 as the starting point. We have 1 and 2 so far. So it is just like back in the day. It's exactly the very same thing. We have the same fundamentals. We have the same bullishness, almost the same structure. A perfect Elliot setup so far. We had a big correction already, right? So think about this. In a bullish trend, the corrections can't be higher than the gains, okay? So the math is like this. We had like a 550% gains, and let's use a round number. So 550% correction, okay? So some would say, well, this is still 450 ahead. Yes, but if you want to make this easier to understand, you just make it to 100, from 500 to 100. So a whole move worth 100. So 100% up, 50% down. So you see, we have that bullish gap from the base, 100 to the 50, that is still 50% gains maintained, okay? So whatever the way you wanted to look at it, it is just different numbers, but the same outcome, the same meaning. And then I ask people, so there is another way to look into this, which we can still use the exact same way back in the day, which is just the average retracement setup. Not going for this one right here because this was a scam candle, like trap. So let's go for this one here. It is not going to make any difference. One thing about pivots orientation and the Fibonacci retracement orientation. When we go from the lower section to the upper section, we measure corrections or pullbacks, strong pullbacks, especially if we are in a bearish trend, so on and on. So here we are measuring correction. The amount of correction that we had on XRP was from 7 cents all the way to 2 cents at the very honey spot, as you guys can see, the golden line bounced for the third wave. So this is absolutely bullish. Okay, we measure what we have, not we don't. What is not clear, we have to wait for more evidence, more pivots, structure, so on and on and on. That's why I always say one step at a time. Now let's take a look. So none of this is my opinion. We are measuring, okay, looking at numbers. Now let's take a look into this one right here. So it is not close, was somewhat close but not there. So yeah, it's kind of close. I really need the glasses, so let me take a look here. 176 to 161. So it is considerable, but for the, since it's a bigger picture, let's say, okay, fair enough. Let's say it was close, but not there. Still significant, okay? And it doesn't mean it has to touch 3820, for example, okay? If we take a look on XLM, XLM went below, if I'm not wrong. So let's take a look. That's the bull flag that I mentioned. And let's take a look on the size of XLM correction. So this is not a crash. This is just a correction. Every big move demands a correction. So you see, there is no rule that tells us that it has to happen. There are none. But here we can see it made it to 38.20 and went close to 50%, which is the very honey spot. Okay, that's why I use the golden lines, because they are very special and significant. And so when we draw lines, we end up with what? Again, you don't have to. Your eyes can see it, right? I'm just drawing for you guys to follow me. Bull flag, health correction, honey spot range, everything's looking fantastic all over the board. But what is missing is that it seems that the crypto market's not ready, probably because Dow Jones and the whole US economy, it's also not ready yet. Also, I was hearing when SPX made a new high, and then a few days later, another new high. And we started to see news all over like, SPX made the new highs again. Whoa, I knew it. We would be going down. That's always like this. So new highs, oh, fantastic, great. After we go down, oh, the market just lost $1 trillion, $2 trillion. Oh, it's because of this, because of that. No, it is just a correction because these moves have been very aggressive. That's it. There is no crash. It is just something natural that happens all the time, often, way too often. So when you pick something technical and add the opinion, it becomes the perfect weapon. It's very, very dangerous. Okay. So back to the precious X. Oh, boys, please forgive me. Just a second. Okay, please forgive me. I forgot that my face it's here. Okay, so all these things being said, everything's looking great as we just talked about. I think we can get rid of Dow Jones. Yes. Oh. It is not going to work, right? So let's bring XRP. Yes, yes. But we want the daily. Okay, so back to what people can't see, right? We are going to talk about what people can see, and then we are going to talk about what people can't see. And this is also a very important clue about people who are able to properly read Elliot waves and those who aren't. And you guys will understand the difference here. So the first thing, let's say you just open the chart. Oh, there's a head and shoulders, right? Completely natural, playing by the book. So what you are going to do, the average citizen, it is going to acknowledge the neckline, the first thing, right? Then what you are going to acknowledge, the left shoulder, right? What is the next thing? The head. And what is the next thing? The right shoulder. Okay, so this is the head, left shoulder, and right shoulder. Okay, so it's crystal clear for everybody to see. It's here, but I call this before in advance that it is not head and shoulders. And this is the conflict that I have with some people that they dislike, or because they don't agree, or they dislike, or they just don't want to be contraried. But how can I explain? When you see clouds in the sky, dark clouds, and one say, it is going to rain, there is another guy who shows up and say, it is going to rain, but not here. The other guy will say, what this guy is talking about? It's crystal clear that it's going to rain. And then end up happening like this. It's not going to rain that place. it is going to rain in another place. And by the way, this happens often here. They say it is going to rain. Dark clouds came, they go, and then there is no rain here. It's crazy. It's incredibly crazy. And here is exactly the same thing. Oh, there's a Head and Shoulders. Actually, it is not a Head and Shoulders. No, you're crazy. So this is the how things have been playing out so far. What is the move that invalidated the Head and Shoulders? For the eyes who can see. Okay, so for what's in the picture, not from it's hidden. Okay, so let's say playing by the book, the Head and Shoulders got invalidated here. And I'm not even talking about other things, just by playing by the book from what is visual, what we can see. So a Head and Shoulders can have double shoulders in one side or the other. Okay, it becomes invalidated, and we saw this on Bitcoin multiple times. So it's just another bear, bull, bull, bear. Okay, so got invalidated. We end up with a new high right here. And what these new high tell us? That there is something that is against what people can see. Because even with a Head and Shoulders that, let's say, could even take some time to develop bearish, what we would see? We would see a lower high here, not a higher high. So previous high, lower high, then okay, more bearish development after the Head and Shoulders that would trigger a downside move. But again, it is not what we have. So now I'm going to talk with you guys about two different pictures that connect to each other and, in my opinion, makes more sense. Okay. You guys remember back in the day, we had an event that I named PPP, Price Protection, PPT, Price Protection Theory. And after some weeks and after some months, we came to realize that it wasn't a theory at all. It's truly a fact, and it's starting to happen too often. Okay, and I have a theory about this. We do know and we do understand. So let me give you one example before we start. Back in the day, BitMEX was the only calling the shots in the crypto market. You guys remember this? And we had a lot of patterns that people were calling the Simpsons structure, which was exactly like this. We go up, the hair, and back to where we were before. So this is happening again and again and again. One of the probabilities here, so this is opinion, my opinion. I believe that we have two major players. One that has been exposed, which is Binance. So BitMEX was calling the shots back in the day. The United States went after BitMEX, and they, let's say, they lost the crown. Right after Binance started to become the top player in the market. Okay, and then we started to see some of those structures after a while. So today, I believe Binance is in the same place that BitMEX was when the United States went after them. So CZ was already sent to jail. I believe now he's free, but yeah, the guy did some nasty things, and Binance is still doing those things. So I believe Binance is making some moves, and they are being countered by other part that is making the price protection theory. Okay, we can see it. It is not a theory, it's a fact. And once again, we can see patterns like the Simpsons, okay? Now, let's jump into it. I'm going to give you two different views that lead to the same outcome, okay? The first is, with just one price protection move, or even with two, the outcome, it is going to be the same, okay? So please follow me here. If we do remove, so we already did this before. You guys will remember when we use the square to remove one and other to make a zero, because both of those moves doesn't make any change in the structure we have at hand. So when we remove both of them, we end up with what? Two sets of pivots, exactly two, which would be right here and this one here, or even this one here. What is the problem with this move? It was based on news from the United States about XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano being strategic reserve assets. But it faded by 100%. So all the gains were completely wiped out. Is this a protection from what would happen, or just the market adjusting to itself because we are not ready yet to just go up? Okay, so one way or the other, we are still trading inside, so we still have inside action, what people call intraday action. So it is what it is. Still intraday from one end to the other. We're still trading to this range. Okay, so if we also remove this move right here, again, we are talking about the price protection. Okay, if we do remove the one above and the one below, which makes almost 100%, we end up with what? Continuation, a clear continuation structure, which can be highlighted as a triangle. So let's take a look. I gotta use a solid line because things are getting a bit crazy here, right? So right now, I believe it starts to make more sense for your eyes that now maybe things are becoming more clear on multiple reasons. Also, one of them that there is no really head and shoulders here. So this is one of the pictures that I believe we have at hand. Now let's add the events. Tomorrow meeting at the White House. The weekend, 17, 18. And here we have the phones. So first, let's just talk about this. Then we move to the other structure. So what I'm going to tell you right now works for both scenarios. In my opinion, how this is going to unfold. We go up before the meeting and we stay there a while until the meeting is over. Once the meeting is over, remember Friday, the meeting, and the weekend. We go up to the meeting, we stay there for a while, no major nothing. In my opinion, it is going to be like clues for the people, for the average Joe about crypto and what is going on in the United States. For us, nothing burger. Up to the meeting, staying there for a while, we go down on the weekend, and most likely on Monday, maybe Tuesday, we start to go up. Okay, probably going up to the to the phones event, right? So we do know this by the US market that price and green action follows the event itself, okay? So for example, the last meeting, the last phones that they didn't lower the rates, we went up to the event and then down. So this is happening for a long time. So we've been following this for a really long time, and it's enough new for us. Okay. So now we are going to talk about the other event. So once again, we are getting ready for the major event that I believe it is probably going to be the phones lowering interest rates. Okay. That's all the events we have at hand. You may say, what about the SEC dropping the case? We don't know when this is going to happen, but they could already said something like this. Hey folks, we dropped the case against Ripple, but we gotta wait for the trial, the process, the details to end for it to become official and public. But that's not what they are doing, right? So now we're going to wait for everything unrolls and the details, the trial to be finally over. Maybe, I don't know, close to the phones meeting, maybe a little after, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. What we do know is that we are getting very close, very. So the other picture here is if we do acknowledge the other set of pivots, these two that we excluded in the other scenario, we end up with what? Again, two sets of, actually only one could be two, but it's still inside, so it is not reliable. So it would be something like this. So we are going up here. In my opinion, it is not going to be a new high. I don't think so. And the only scenario that I see that could invalidate this, it's a off-charts event like the SEC making public what we just talked about. So this could invalidate everything, just blast the roof. Again, why I don't believe it is going to happen? Because when we look into Dow Jones is not ready at this moment. So XRP is not going to outperform everything. It is not going to happen. Not even Bitcoin. Nothing. It's overperforming Dow Jones. Okay. So we would have 3 pivots, and that's all we have. And development would be 16%. That's 48% development so far, which it is not enough for a clear view look into this perspective. When we look into the other, let's take a look at there again. Oh, and by the way, we always stay in the honey spot and stay above, which is bullish, not bearish. So when we look into the previous setup, we have 2 sets of pivots right here. And they are perfect. Why? Because we have high, low, lower high, higher low. It's a perfect one. Okay. And by the way, it seems to us that this XRP move right here from here to here could be one of the price protection moves based on this movement right here, because otherwise XRP would be going down more than it should probably. Okay. So let's go into the 4. Let's draw the bars again. Let's try to make sense about it. Tomorrow 7. White House meeting. On the 9, it is going to be Sunday. And here is the magic hour. So this is basically weekend. Okay. Can you guys see this grinding line? It is no good. This means correction. The correction from the correction. So take a look here. The impulsive move, the correction, 0, 0. Okay. So, and also, I'm not, so this is, folks, this is crystal clear. But there is no way to say it is not. If we remove the upside one and the one that went down for 100% correction, what we would have? We would have exactly what is happening right now, exactly the same thing. Okay. The next conclusion. This is crazy. This is crazy. So let's do this again. This move was the correction of the previous. And this move right here can be the correction of the red one. So up correction, up correction, up correction. And we could even consider a correction from this previous whole move right here. And we saw this multiple times before XRP broke from the 50 cents. You guys remember? Up, whatever, down, up and down, up and down. So there is no change so far. And okay, so we have grinding behavior leading to the weekend. And a event that is not going to be a trigger. Okay, so again, going up to the news to the event and going down right after. So we also have the weekend pivot. And if I'm right, so far I think I am. I'm just thinking. Every time I share something with you guys, I always I try to counter my own ideas, my own perspective about what is going on. You see, so we go up to the event, we stay there for a while, we go down the weekend for a higher low, and then we go up again, probably on Monday or Tuesday, something like this. So what could it be? Lower high, most likely, lower high against the previous high. A higher low against the previous one, or we don't know how strong it can be. Both would be bullish. Okay, so this is low. Then I don't think this one is likely, because every time we are at the end of a structure, it's likely to see a decrease in volatility, not an increase. So possibilities for higher lows. Okay, I strongly believe it is likely to stay above 234. Very, very likely. And then we will be probably ready to let's say, okay, so we are at the very door. We are very, very, very close. Once again, 1718 phones. And if this setup is right, first set of pivots, possibly the two. So if we, again, removing what was 100% up and 100% down, we still have two pivots, two sets of pivots intact. We go up. This would going to make what? a third set of pivots, which is the last. Would be something like this. The only problem is that the time between then, it's not clear. Usually, for example, we have a 5, a 3, and a 1. You see, it decreases by proportion. And this setup right here, it is not proportional at all. So it is also something to consider in the coming days, especially in the coming week, the whole week, okay? So the Fed meeting, it is going to be not on this next week, in the other. So yeah, so this is going to be very, very interesting. And maybe we are going to see news about the case being over around this time, close to the phones, or just a little bit after. I don't know. Okay. What I do know is that we are very, very close. And again, external fundamentals, news, events, we always invalidate whatever the structure we have. So for example, if it is a bearish one, great news, we invalidate. If it is a bullish one with bearish news, it is going to invalidate as well. Okay, so that's why I'm not really concerned about the structures and patterns. To be honest, I'm not even looking at the charts. It doesn't make any sense right now. Okay, and yeah, so at this moment, things are looking good. There is nothing to be worried about. Otherwise, I would tell you guys in advance. And yeah, so far so good. All we need is just a little bit more of time. Okay, so guys, thanks for your support, thanks for your patience, thanks for all the kind words. You guys are amazing. Thanks for everything. You guys are fantastic, and I'm very glad to have you guys with me, and also to be with you for all this time. We are doing this for what, 6 years, 5 years. It's been a long, long road, and we are at the very door, like I comment when we were back in the 50, that it was about to happen. So happy days ahead. Guys, smash the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe as well. And once again, thank you, and I will see you guys very soon. See ya.